So what? You had a bad first date. Call 988.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're going to want to be real careful with this one.
So do you think we're fools? Do you think we're like, and he's like, ugh, get out of my house. Like, go enjoy myself.
With the squiggly D.
That's worth more than Xbox.
Lord have mercy.
That's where the corruption is.
Come on, Miss Fruits. We having fun.
Really tickled me. That's the perks. That's the perks. Hey now.
Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network. You're listening to Gas Digital Best of the Week.
Your husband and you sort of have a rivalry, and tell me if this is true, that there is one.
Yeah.
Because he writes for Marvel, and you do Harley Quinn on the Batman series. That's DC Marvel. Is there any sort of weird thing for that, or he doesn't give?
Well, it's funny because yes, I do that for DC, and then I helped out on a comic for DC in that same Batman Audio Adventures world, and so like it felt really cool to tell Zeb like, oh, I've got a comic coming out this month, and like my comic came in the mail. Like he always gets stacks of his, but he was supportive with a little bit of an eye roll.
And did you meet him on Super Mansion or before then?
No, before it. When I moved to LA, I was.
You styled his hair.
It was almost that.
Oh, that would've
I
been
did
cool.
makeup. I did makeup for a friend of his, like, spec commercial shoot. And it was an Xbox spec commercial. And when I first moved to LA, I didn't know what that meant. And I sent, whatever.
I still don't know what that means.
It just means, like, I'm making this Xbox commercial and putting it out in the world to possibly get a real Xbox.
Okay,
This
I
is an
got you.
example that I'm a good director. But I just saw Xbox commercial and I got the job. And so like I was calling my family and friends. I was like, first thing in LA, and I book it, and it's a real Xbox commercial. And then I got to the house where they were shooting what I thought was the real Xbox commercial. And it was like a dude's dirty frat house with like El Pollo Loco wrappers and Taco Bell everywhere. And that's where Zeb and his friends were living, and they were shooting it there. And Zeb rolled downstairs like, when he got out of bed at noon.
But it was a real Xbox commercial.
No,
it wasn't. Okay, so did he put that in to try and seduce young directors?
No, I just read it wrong.
Oh, okay. That reminds me. It was a great story when the Xbox was impossible to find. Somebody was eBaying Xbox box for like $500, but it was just the box that Xboxes came in, and he didn't lie. And they tried to sue him, but he didn't lie. He just put up the picture of the box, and people were spending $500 on it.
No.
What a chooch.
Yeah, but it worked.
Nice.
It worked.
What a
It worked.
choo-choo.
So you read it wrong. You thought it was a real commercial, but it was like, that's funny.
Yeah, but I figured it out, and I met my husband, and that's worth more than Xbox.
Yeah, well, unless you're selling Xbox boxes, that's a much higher
You're
markup.
Ain't natural born killers, Legion of Skanks.
Welcome to the club.
Alex, what? Do you have a baby registry?
Yeah, it's on my Instagram. It's linked in the bio.
We're gonna put up, not now, but we'll put up Alex's baby registry on the baby shower episode of Legion of Skanks.
Can we start a Hot Topic registry?
Just for
It could just be
for Big J.
Sure, man. You guys want to throw accessories my way? I'll wear them. No dog collars, though. It's not my look.
Can you register at Hot Topic? No.
I have a Hot Topic credit card, yeah.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. It's the only credit card I was able to get. I got a Hot Topic credit card.
I don't believe you.
How do you get approved?
What did you
show 'em
buy
this-
with it? Is that where you got that,
One
that
year
cool
I needed
ass
to
hoodie
get
with
Christmas gifts for the kid, and I couldn't because I didn't have money. And
everyone got Jack Skeleton
and I went to get a
lunch
credit
boxes?
card. Yeah, kids like anime anyway, and so you go there, and I was golden, yeah.
You get approved by showing them the slits on your wrist.
Yeah. She was real sad the rest of that year, looked at least.
The other side of the credit card's a razor blade.
Hey, I got you a Misfits t-shirt.
So you love The Cure, right? You're 10.
It's like swipe this side if you want to pay. Swipe the other if you're mad at mom.
But at those credit cards, you can only swipe up and down, not sideways.
That was good.
You have to swipe it on your wrist. Did anybody say that?
That was layered.
Was layered. It's pretty good. These are good jokes, folks.
I went from hotshot banker to genderless reptile.
Like in a day.
What news story?
I'm so excited for this. Okay, it's a video, so
There's a lot more body modification stuff happening.
Ooh, no.
I am a genderless dragon. I was born a male.
Didn't see that coming.
When I look in the mirror, I see a creature.
I agree. I agree with that.
Today, I'm going out in the community. I never know what's going to happen when I go out.
It's a constant worry. People attacking her.
Because she's a monster.
Yeah.
My birth name was Richard Hernandez Jr., and I was born a male. Career-wise, I went into the bank as a clerk, and then 15 years later, I left the bank as a vice president. So it was a really fun job, great experiences. But I left the bank, I became HIV positive.
Dude, retirement hit so hard.
Right away. And
Why
then
did a
I
little?
actually was diagnosed as having AIDS. When I became HIV positive, and I started treatment right away. And then I actually was diagnosed as having AIDS. At that time, I was not going to die from this world looking like a human.
Pause.
So I'm becoming a
Wow, so I guess this reptile is really full of poison.
It's a venomous snake.
Yeah, it is.
It's a venomous snake.
Where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Tristan Rodrigues boldly said it.
I thought they worked in banking. They read The Hobbit and they're like, Smog, yes, got it.
Yeah, this guy is like, no, I had a total normal life, and then I got all paused up, and I was like, you know what? I am a reptile.
Can you?
Yeah, you're going to want to be real careful with this one and not put your saliva or blood. And don't let it come in you, and don't be sharing needles.
Today, we're here at the TD Bank. I tracked this one.
Dude, that's so funny that literally that reptile can be like, it's like, oh god,
Dude, if you
it's got venom.
If you're walking through a subway tunnel and you just saw that, you're like, ah! Like,
yeah, and then you'd be like, oh, it's harmless. Then you find out it has AIDS. And you're like, oh, get away from me.
Fun fact, this creature eats flies, maggots, and $80,000 worth of pills a year.
They didn't look like that before they had AIDS. AIDS did that.
Now I know how the Dilophosaurus killed Newman in Jurassic Park.
Just spat AIDS.
How it got AIDS. Look at the stick, stupid.
Just sitting there, just like,
You didn't take your prep.
Dude, that's so wild.
Zach Amico's Midnight Spook Show.
I kind of love this.
Yeah.
This is gnarly.
Whoa.
Oh, that was the cake.
Her dad's made out of clay. Yeah, it's the cake.
I was about to get laid.
This whole movie's about this lady running away from her repressed sexual urges about her father.
Tell them I said the bigger the cushion, the sweeter the...
That's a lie. Nobody would run out for a screaming chick on the street.
Maybe that in 77. White woman? That's what she... Hello, I'm white, help!
Yeah, maybe.
A girl running through the streets at 4 a.m. saying she's knifed her father. Blood on her.
Always when you're wearing white.
Period blood on her.
You know the girl gets. She is.
I haven't seen her, not since your wife Karen's suicide.
Ooh.
Who the says it like that?
Christopher Walken.
What did he just... He was like, before your wife's... Woo, suicide. Boy, you know your wife's suicide?
The bereaved husband took an overdose, but lived. And now here we are again, in a hospital waiting room. You and me.
Except this time, there's no corpse for you to invent murder theories about.
Christopher Walken's like, hey, sometimes people die. Sometimes you're on your friend's boat.
Yeah.
And a woman falls off, and you're like, hey, where'd she go? I don't know. Oopsie. Nobody pushed her.
I think she killed someone.
You can have rest in power, Natalie Wood.
Christopher Walken. The only explanation for Christopher Walken is he knows what happened on that boat, and every time somebody yells action, he remembers. And that's why he looks like that. Christopher Walken is just haunted by this woman drowned. Hey, Christopher Walken, can you find a deep, dark place in your life to go to? Okay.
I'm already there.
I
never left.
Scared.
Yeah.
Can we be alone?
Next story is about the new suicide hotline. This is from NPR. 988 Lifeline sees boost in use and funding in first months. So the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which I actually don't even think I knew that they had changed it, received over 1.7 million calls, texts, and chats in its first 5 months. That's nearly 500,000 more than the old 10-digit suicide prevention lifeline. Which there is something funny about that. You're like, you're gonna kill yourself, but like you can't get help because you can't remember like the number, or you're too upset to call the number. Fielded during yes.
Does this ruin Logic's song?
Yeah, I guess it does. But I mean, I think Logic got all the bang for his buck out of that. I don't know that anyone was soul jamming to that, but yeah, it does. Someone now has to quickly come up with a 988 suicide and crisis. I mean, maybe we should do it, Mike.
Yo. So what? You had a bad first date. Call 988.
Oh, okay. I think we do it. I think yet another amazing idea from the team of Without a Country that we'll text about and then maybe not make or not make.
It's funny because, like the American system was always, in many ways, a more it's a more sophisticated form of corruption than typical like dictatorships or typical like kind of naked tyrannical regimes. I love that it's I was arguing with someone the other day. I was talking about how corrupt countries are. I think they were talking about like Ukraine and Russia and some of these countries that are so corrupt. And I was saying, this is like an off air, this is a conversation. And I was like, look, America's the most corrupt country. We're more corrupt than any of them. And he was like, well, no, look, I mean, in Russia or something like that, or in some of these other countries, I mean, you're like bribing police officers and stuff like that. Judges take bribes and stuff. And I was like, yeah, because that's a very primitive form of corruption. That's like the very basic, like low-level form of corruption. America's corruption, it's like, yeah, look, you can't bribe police officers typically in America. There might be some exceptions to this, but typically, if you get like pulled over for a DUI or something like that, you're not going to be able to like slip the cop a couple $100 and get off. That's typically not going to work in America. In Mexico, that might work. Like that is so yes, there is that low level of corruption there. Now, by the way, it's not exactly clear to me that is like, let's just say you're probably in a lot of situations in the United States of America where you wish you could just bribe the cop and actually might be better off for everybody if you could. But that's not the corruption in America. The corruption in America is like the prison guard union, like lobbies for mandatory minimums. That's where the corruption is. The corruption is like the Federal Reserve. The corruption is like, think tanks funded by weapons companies that put out pieces advocating why we need to fight the next war. It's like sophisticated, next level corruption, which is actually far more successful and far more corrupt. So anyway, the point I'm getting at is like in a lot of other countries, they would have the more primitive form of this media control, which is just state-run media. The state runs it. If you go to North Korea, it's like the news is going to be put out by the government. This is the news. In America, they had a more sophisticated form of state propaganda, which is like, oh, no. The state doesn't run the media. We have a free, honest press that is a check on state power, right? The state just licenses out TV stations, and we picked 3, And so there's 3. You have 3. Look, you can choose anyone you want to. And they'll all be saying the same thing, but whatever. You can choose which one you want to watch. And then you would have, papers like, say, whoever, the New York Times or something like that, who basically they get access to the deep state and to the intelligence world and to politicians. And then they'll give them little bits of information as long as they publish things that are what they want them to publish. And then they continue to get that access. So it's a more sophisticated version of state media.
I know. Because I can't get right. This is cutthroat. This burns as words pop from a snub nose. This Kurt Metzger and not give a fuck.
I've been watching this Linda Moulton.
Right.
How, not Crow.
Okay.
Earth Files.
Earth Files. That's what it's called. So
Files.
what I like, so Sherrod had never seen the Bob Lazar Rogan thing.
I saw pieces of it, but not that part, yeah.
So I always watch these and try to just pick out a thing I haven't heard before. That's all. I don't want to, like the guy Stephen Greer that we showed, he always takes into some fucking UFO pro shit, right?
Right.
And I like when they're like dry, like Bob Lazar is dry. He don't care about none of that shit.
Factual.
He's the most autistic technology guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I watched Charles Hall, who is like
he's the real deal.
He's a Minnesota bumpkin but he does have a degree in nuclear physics. And
you had me at bumpkin.
But his is the one that was the most riveting to me because it had the most, like, I never heard that before, and the least amount of
bullshit.
Yeah, West Hollywood.
Yeah, weird shit.
Right.
And there's certain he gives weird details about these aliens, the tall whites.
Yeah.
His details. He's either a very great science fiction writer because his details hook you with like little things that you're like.
Hear him.
It's all about the tall whites. They're not like gray aliens. They just had bigger eyes that were and little ears back here and very thin hair, and they would set excursions for them to go to Vegas, and they liked going to places that had a space theme. They thought it was funny
Because they're in there dressed up.
He talked about
Comic-Con. I knew I saw a couple at Comic-Con.
when he
fuck my girlfriend. Okay.
they had a thing like a little pen thing, like it was a pencil shaped, and the older ones had a longer one. He said,
What was that?
it was a thing that was a microwave emitting thing that they could tune to different elements in your body. So if they hit the sodium thing, be like you were being electric shocked to death. If they hit it they had one that could make you calm. They just tune it to different.
And why
minerals.
did they just have this in Vegas? And they had Vegas drunk, just changing niggas' moods?
No. It was late. They would go at a certain time of night and escorted and all that shit. But like GE and stuff were helping them. Basically, they're not here to colonize. This is the interesting thing because they weren't here to save the whales. They weren't here to colonize. Right. It was like a stop on the way to other shit for them. We were helping, and they would give us technology, but nothing. Only what suited them. So if they needed something for their inside their like they had he said he went on a ship, they had a microwave in the ship, and they had this force field emitter. So they had taken the door off, and they had this thing set up that would guard them. That was how
microwave.
Yeah, and they had
the door broke off.
Yeah, they had a lot of fiber optic.
Bum ass.
The way he so he was like, I kind of figured out because you weren't allowed to look at any of their shit, and if you touch one, you'd be killed. One guy, there was some female called the school teacher, one of them, and he talked to another guy that they're walking down some stairs, and she looked like she was gonna fall because they're like the way they walk is different. So he reached out just to study her, and she pulled out this thing and like tortured him with it, and he had to like beg for his life. She's like, "Do you think we're fools? Do you think we're like?" And he's like, "Ugh." And they would give us stuff.
I've also heard a very similar story where someone got too close to the one of the children, and one of them just went up and hit him in the chest, like with an open palm, and they kind of like a Matrix move, and they went flying.
Really?
But these are stories,
he said they're weaker. Wait. He said the difference is they don't heal like we're like super Wolverine healing compared to them.
Right.
If
they're
get
really
a cut,
fragile.
Yeah, they have this kind of field where if you like throw something at it, it would just drop. And they fucking are amazed at that. Like we're like gorillas compared to them. Our strength. Okay. And this is where I started going, oh, I see the tall whites. Like there's even more whiter creatures that are above us that they look at us like, oh, look at him, that's cute. Like
Harrington, are you a notary public?
I am not.
That
No.
seems like something you should
What?
be because I currently need a notary public, and you are the producer of this show. I
don't know what that
I need
is.
something notarized, and you know something. I went above your head to your boss, Bobby Hutch, and he said you should be a notary public as well. Gas Digital needs an on-site notary public. You know what we can do if you were a notary? We could get legally binding contracts for people's souls at the drop of a fucking dime. Bobby, I need you on mic, please.
Happened to Millhouse.
I can't hear. Bobby, he needs you on mic. I can't hear. Okay.
Give him the cans, Mike.
Now, Bob,
Oh my God.
do you think that you agree with me that Mike Harrington should be required as part of his duty at this company to become a notary public, correct?
I agree. Yes.
I will pay for it.
I think he should.
I don't
do
need,
it.
Ralph doesn't have to pay for it?
I mean, what are you so against it about?
It's just a test, dog. And then you get your own stamp. I've looked into doing this before. It's just one test. I think all the answers are online.
I passed the test for a California notary, but then I moved here before.
Before you got your notary. Damn,
Yeah.
dude. That now it all falls on Harrington.
I honestly think, knowing Harrington, he just doesn't want to show people his signature.
Is that what it is, Mike?
What? Have you ever seen his handwriting?
Oh, yes, it is atrocious.
Oh my
Serial
God.
killer him.
It looks like hieroglyphs.
Wait, how hard was the test hard for being a notary in California?
No, everything was very. They teach you for the class that they give you beforehand, and like all the books and shit. They give you like all the answers and a bunch of
books. Yeah, there's two books.
There's like one.
All right.
Is it
like,
a pamphlet or is it a book?
It's a book. It has because there's a bunch of legal stuff you have to learn.
Okay.
And stuff about fines, ethical things.
Mike doesn't even
jail
care
time.
about any ethics.
And that's positive to being
What
a...
are you
Yeah.
so against it for?
That's what makes him such a good dad.
There you go.
I'm not personally against it.
Oh, okay.
I just think, right? Jorge's already passed the notary public test.
In California!
Yeah.
not valid,
He's
yeah.
still a Californian as far as I'm concerned. You're a lifelong New Yorker. You're
still
from
getting,
Scarsdale.
He's getting used to running water out here and shit.
Look, he has to be here more than I do.
I don't care, Mike.
Well, he's a
I
go-getter.
talk
That's
to
why he's
you
always
more
there.
often than I talk to him, and I
point.
often require a notary.
How often do you require a notary?
Currently, I need a notary.
What do they do
3
again? I
to
don't.
2 dozen times a week.
They just stamp shit and sign their name.
This
And what
fucking,
is this?
this fucking guy is constantly notarized.
That's what they call me. They call me Chris Notary from Brooklyn Fega. That's my name.
That's
That's
a
my full
long
name.
fucking
That's my
name.
confirmation name. Is Notary. Yeah.
Godfrey. Trust. What you say is true. Godfrey. Could be dangerous.
So we're the first generation where there's this idea of self-actualization, like pursuit of fulfillment and happiness.
Yeah.
Your parents was like, get an education, survive. My parents was like, go to school. If you don't get an education, you can't do this. You know, you get immigration, first generation immigrants, Asians. You better take the violin or the piano. You got to go this. You got to be a doctor. This Indians, like all immigrants are because they're under this context of survival.
Yeah.
But now we're in a situation where we go, well, I don't want to be a doctor. I think I want to pursue the arts. I want to pursue it. But we're the first generation to do that.
Yeah.
But we're dealing with people that our parents didn't even have conceptually understand that there are other options.
Yeah.
Basically because we're not in this place where it's survive. Old school parents they're not support, like, do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
Because shut the fuck up.
Unless like, it's like when my parents saw that I was doing cool with the comedy thing, they said, okay, good, because they don't see the survival.
But it's still, these tropes are so inbred to them. They're programmed in this way.
Yeah.
So even when they're accepting, what they're doing is they're tolerating.
Yeah.
They're not encouraging.
My parents did that. Yeah, they're like, oh, so you still can do the psychology. Maybe you can just, in case this fails, you can just maybe go to something else. Because it can fail. Because maybe you're not funny. So you go back to something where you don't have to tell the joke. You read your books, you get your money. Because I've seen many people fail and they're not funny. I watch a lot of TV.
How many
So
times
if
do
you can
you hear
just,
that conversation?
Or you're like, so this, is good. for you. I see Chris Rock, I see them, but they're making millions. You are not. So why don't you just go and just invest?
Then you have this to fall back on. When you are finished playing this clown, then you can go to a real job.
It's nice to juggle and do that, but take the nose off. Go back to psychology. All right.
Doug, I know there's a dude, a friend of my comic. I'm not gonna say his name, but this is the difference in what I talk about in white privilege.
Yeah.
He dropped out of school because he wanted to juggle, right? And then his father, what did his father say? I'm going to take a leave of absence and juggle with you. That's what you call white privilege, though.
That's like...
Can you imagine you tell your father, you know what I'm thinking about doing? I'm thinking about taking up juggling. Your father was...
But wait, juggle. You mean juggle your classes, right? You have
No. The bowling pins. I want to...
Oh, okay. So you want to ball, but and go to class. Then okay. So you're juggling a lot of activities. Yes, you can. Of course, everyone has to juggle. Juggling life, juggling. The family. You have to juggle. Juggle science. Juggle mathematics.
No.
Juggle psychology. Juggle. I understand.
No. I want to just juggle. I want to be paid
like in the circus.
Yes, like in circus.
Okay. Well, get out of my house and go and join a circus. That's what it would be.
I thought to myself, I either got ripped off or this is my first case.
Pickleball is a fast rising sport, and it's this man almost died.
So this is this dad. He's 35 years old, and it says he's super fit and that he's lucky to be alive after tearing a neck artery and suffering 3 strokes, all because he turned his head too quickly while playing pickleball.
Shannon, do you think that it's possible that you could have a series of strokes by whipping your head around and looking at us?
I'm really trying not to.
But your arteries could get severed.
Shannon, did you invite me as co-host for the thing is because I'm so sexy?
Yes, I think that's part of it, Michael. I'm not even going to let her answer. I'm not even going to let a woman answer, which is illegal now.
We're going to say yes.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
She got sucked in by your perfect haircut and your chiseled face and the fact that you're flexing unprompted, which Shannon secretly loves.
Yeah. Wow. Shannon, do you think I'm more attractive than Ron Diesel and all the guys that you love?
I thought you were going to ask if I thought you were more attractive than Maddie, because that I can answer. But I don't know about Rob Diesel. I'm sorry.
We're going to just say yes.
He's like just right under the rock for me, is Rob Diesel.
Right.
It's like top 2 men. Oh, aside from you two.
Shannon, Mike and I, are we the best smelling comedians you've ever met?
Josh Adam Meyer smells pretty
all right,
good.
Just fucking mute her.
Josh Adam Meyer wins again.
For what?
Josh Adam Meyer wins again. Why didn't you do it in a song parody, Shannon?
Skibbity bop, skibbity bop.
Skibbity doo with the squiggly dee. Now you say squaggly squiggly. Smell me, Shannon.
Shannon, how dare you? You've turned a perfectly good pickleball story into a living nightmare, which is what kids are saying now when they're being overdramatic. It's a living nightmare, Shannon.
Literally a nightmare.
Literally a nightmare. This guy almost died. As bad as it would be to say, do you think if this guy passed away, that pickleball would get a better, more notoriety?
I'm just going to be honest
more
with you,
branding?
I'm just going to be honest.
Branding.
I don't think anybody gives a fuck about pickleball.
No?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You don't think anybody cares about it?
I don't think
But you're in the Bronx. No one in the Bronx cares about it. In Shannon and my communities, we are very high end.
I know Ralph has played pickleball.
Of course, Ralph, who owns the studio. Yes. You have to own the studio in order to play pickleball, Michael.
Was it a competition for like SDR or something? I'm going to play pickleball while 3 strippers balance a bologna on their foreheads. Is it? No, it's not. That was not.
Next week.
Is there a button for when something is not good? That wasn't. I'm sorry.
No, just let you sit in the silence.
It's all, Michael, it's all good. You're amongst friends here.
All right.
Okay? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. That's our motto on this podcast.
That's your motto. You made that.
I personally came up with that. And that's also the first rule of pickleball. Okay, I don't know how many of these are going to be clips. Probably not many.
Undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world,
When's the last time you fought in Brazil?
Damian Maia, but that kind of doesn't count because that was the beginning of the pandemic. So there was no crowd in there. It was no crowd. And it was in Brasilia. Last time I fought in Rio, that guy's not even in UFC anymore. I fought Cowboy Oliveira. Remember the Brazilian cowboy, Alex Oliveira? And that was fight of the night. So, yeah, I have good memories. The other time that I fought in Rio, I had submission of the night with beautiful armbar. So, I don't know. I hope I keep it going like that. You know, get another bonus would be very nice. But they put all the Brazilian lutadores there, all the fighters. It's me, Glover Teixeira, Figueiredo, and we got this guy. Don't sleep on that guy, Michael. I know you don't, but Gregory Rodrigues, this guy is Gregory Rodrigues.
Oh, I know. RoboCop. The guy's a monster.
The guy that had a huge cut, RoboCop.
Yeah.
This guy, I'm telling you, I fought Hamza. I lost to Hamza. I lost to Kamaru. But guess what? Next day, I was fine. I was good. A little bruise, but nothing special. I sparred with big gloves with this guy, and we went hard. Guess what? I had 2 days of a headache. 2 days, Michael. I was just like, man, I hope I don't have a concussion or something. I didn't have nothing, but I say I'm not sparring the big gloves anymore.
Okay, so Mr. Daniel, I know that you've done whippets, like that's how you do your fortunes.
Yeah.
But just for the listeners,
I said see, like I'm Spanish. See, me done whippet.
Just for the listeners, if they wanted,
you never done me a pussy boy right there, Rosclot. Tell them how to do it.
So here's how you do it. You take the balloon and then you just inhale as much as you can, like you do a helium balloon.
Like my new funny voice.
Yeah, which for the YouTube, that's what we're doing. We're just doing helium. This is just for funsies.
Has been helium the whole time? Because then me done plenty with it.
Yes.
Really?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so go ahead, and then we're gonna start our test. You gotta take a lot, and then I would say take one more. Okay, now, hold it, and then exhale it, and then if you talk into the mic, your voice should be lower. Let's hear you.
Watching it.
No, it didn't. I feel like it didn't
Lord
work.
of mercy.
Is it?
Me feel light here.
Oh, no, you got to go. They're telling you to go a little more in that room. There you go. I think that's good. Yeah. All right, let's hear you.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, there we go. Good. We're good. How are you feeling about the whippet, Mr.
I was
Daniel?
going to collapse at first, but now I
love it?
feel fine. I love it.
We have plenty. We have plenty if you need
Balloon
more.
tastes like Fritos. We need balloon with gay blind Michael because it tastes like Fritos. With Paco's dog. Go ahead.
Let us know if you need more because we have plenty. Oh, there's
Let me get more. Let me get more.
All right,
I'm sorry. Let me get more.
Okay.
What up, motherfuckers? It's the Real Ass Podcast.
You know what? What you snacking on?
Off a cock.
Delicious sex treat edition. Delicious sex treat. Hold on. Not just sex, but also drugs. This is the SDR or rock and roll food.
Rock and roll food.
Sex, drugs, or rock and roll food. This is what the SDR show should be. It should be what you snacking on meets SDR show, right? So you got to give.
Jay would show up for more.
One. Really tickled me. That's the perks. That's the perks. Hey now. No, I think that no, we should do one food that you've had while sexed. Shut up, Shannon. I got this. One food that you've had while rocking out at a concert, and one food that you've mixed with drugs.
Hot dog for all three.
Damn it. So easy.
I'm the worst person for this.
So, all right, give me a food that you've had sex that you've incorporated into sex.
Me.
Katie.
Okay, because I don't eat dairy, but my boyfriend did get coconut whipping cream.
I was hoping
spray cream. We only used it once, but my boyfriend he really likes food, and he ate it all.
Is he fat? Is your boyfriend a fatty?
He's not fat.
He's fat.
He's
Is he?
He's
fat. He's a fat guy.
He's not fat. He's like your size.
Oh, okay.
Danny's
fat. He likes food.
Danny's fat. Yeah.
Well, no. But anyway,
I understand that it's like increasing in fatness as we go around the room, but Danny's still on the fat spectrum.
Yeah, I'm on the spectrum.
He looks a little like Danny, actually.
Oh shit! Here we go. Katie's trying to suck. Dude, Katie's trying to suck your cock right now.
I don't want
She said
to.
you're not fat.
Do you
and
have
her boyfriend looks
coconut
like
whipped cream?
No coconut whipped cream.
All right, do you incorporate food into sex?
No, not a fan at all.
Never.
I look like someone who would, and I don't.
You've never done it.
Hate it.
Not once.
I've like maybe one time some
Some
girlfriend's
weird
like,
Canadian
let's do
shit.
whipped cream, and I'm like, okay, that was fun. Can we get back to the sex part?
It's you guys. Wait a minute. It's like sometimes like maybe do coconut whipped cream or
Are you my boyfriend?
what's happening right now? Katie's flirting with you all left and right.
not.
Right now.
I look like her boyfriend.
I'm like not, but you do
I'm
look
like
a
a
little like him.
surrogate.
Yeah.
It's just the hair and the beard
Just all the things, yeah.
and the weight.
I'm gonna wait.
Delicious whipped cream cock.
Zach Amico,
Are
obviously
you kidding me?
have-
Sometimes I've incorporated sex into my food.
What's your favorite moment of incorporating
I was
food into
telling
sex?
them out there when the KFC Double Down came out, a vegan black chick.
Double
who
Down,
missed
was that the
KFC.
sandwich that used chicken as bread?
Yeah. A girl wanted to smell my mouth and fuck me while I ate one.
Smell your mouth and
Because
fuck
she was
you.
vegan and she missed KFC.
Wow.
I want to play a game with you. This is first time we ever play this game that we just developed. It's called "Is He the Black Air Force One?"
Oh shit!
Okay.
All right. Is he the Black
All
Air
right.
Force One?
So I'm going to ask you just a couple questions where I'm going to compare two types of guys, and you tell me which one you would prefer based off of the description that I read out. All right.
It's like this or that.
Yeah. So here's the first description. Would you prefer a guy that's casual, laid back, plans are kind of loose, just, as long as you guys are together and hanging out, there's no real like structure on a date, and as far as like who's paying for it, you guys will figure it out when the bill comes.
Nah, automatically fuck that. Black
Okay.
Air Force
Let
One.
me hear the next.
Nah.
Wow. Or would you prefer the type of guy who knows what he wants
Yes.
to eat and he shares that with his lady?
Yes.
He'll even pick the place.
Yes.
Who will prepare his outfit
Yes.
from the hat down to the shoes, and
the
you
style.
don't have to pay.
Absolutely. Who the
All
fuck?
right.
If you're a woman and you don't pick that answer, you're dumb. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, show him the guy that she's wanting in there.
Oh no, who's this?
Yep.
What is this?
Popeye's chicken sandwich release.
What the fuck is
He
this?
got his outfit ready.
You crazy? You
So if
fucking
you
crazy.
want chick, you just
You
dumb.
fucking crazy.
It just checked all your boxes.
What do you
checked all your
mean?
boxes.
He knows what he wants to eat.
Wait, this is an actual person?
Yeah, listen.
that
He
wrote
knows
this?
he wants a chicken sandwich
Chicken
from Popeyes.
sandwich, yeah.
So you guys are going to. You don't even have to pick a restaurant.
You don't have to pick a restaurant.
He knows
What
what
the
it is.
fuck?
He knows.
All right. He's picking for you.
forgot
Picking
to
for
add
you.
something
He
to
picked-
this
No, we
description.
didn't. No, the
everything.
fuck we didn't.
What do you
We said everything. You
He picked the place. He prepared his
Plus,
outfit
yeah,
from
but
the
you-
hat down to the shoes.
You forgot to mention the firearm.
And you don't have to pay.
Right, that's why you have to pay.
I ran through everything for
That's
you.
why? Because he was going to rob the joint. in the first-
Absolutely.
Hey.
Oh, my God.
As opposed to the guy who
Okay,
has
all
no
right, all right.
plans
You know
and
what?
you might have to
Fruit
pay.
Loops.
Listen,
Come on, Fruits.
listen.
Come
now,
on, Fruits.
Now I know what kind of game we playing.
Come on,
I'm going
Fruits.
to keep my trap shut.
Come on, Miss Fruits.
Nah.
Huh?
Give me the next one. Give me the.
Fruitsies.
I'm ready now.
Give me the next one.
Give me the next
Come on,
one.
Miss Fruits.
Fuck this.
We having fun.
And all I'm trying to say is I'm a gay man and I love cocks. What do you not understand? Look, I'm gay.